It's more than just steel and gears. It pulls you in and doesn't let go.
Who did this intro for you?
Funnily enough, well, we're live. Dimes did it. Remember good old Dimes?
Nice.
Funny you ask. I don't know what to do with this sound. So it's going on now. All right. Hello. Welcome to another Carousel episode with returning guest, Swampist. What's up, dog?
What's up,
dog?
Greetings and salutations. Thank you for having me, Mr. Simpson.
Yeah, a lot going on. Million things going on. I just got back from London. I'm sort of moving. The new place I'm moving into is flooding. Our pets' heads are falling off. There's a beautiful hummingbird outside the window. It's pouring rain. So yeah, but really, in your part of the woods, it's Mardi Gras, and we know that Shia LaBeouf has been roving the streets, getting kicked out of Miss Maze specifically. I think he got kicked out of Miss Maze. Good old Miss Maze.
He might be one of maybe 20 people in the history of Miss Maze to get kicked out of Miss Maze.
I know, that's hard. It's a $1 drink. Remember $1 drinks? Didn't they used to have $1 beers?
I think sometimes they still do dollar beers, and he got cut off and kicked out. You have to be cut. It's a cash only bar on Magazine Street. It's an institution. It's one of the greatest. It's fantastic. But I mean, how is that even possible? I just don't even know what he was doing. And then got in a fight. It's really impressive. I'm one of the only people also that is not run into Shia LaBeouf since I'm really upset about it. Apparently everybody in New Orleans has hung out with this guy except for me. And I'm a huge fan. I was big early on. I was a big Even Stevens fan.
Is that where he comes from?
You might be too old for Even Stevens.
Yeah, I probably am.
That was like
what is Even
Disney
Stevens?
Channel.
Oh, that was like Disney Channel era. Yeah. I mean, I was also banned from watching any Disney at all. I was like
Interesting.
I was watching film. I was watching serious films.
But you're just
from
like
a very young age. Okay.
Just like in middle school watching freaking
Mulholland Drive. Literally not a joke. My dad showed me, I think, Mulholland Drive when I was like 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Although I don't know, maybe 16. But
when was the last time you did Mardi Gras in New Orleans?
Oh man, I did it twice. Dude, are you kidding? I'm not that old. I went to law school. That would be like 60. I went to law school in 2009.
Okay.
So it was after. It was like 5 years after. I mean, people still talked about it constantly, though. It was still very much like on everybody's mind.
Yeah.
For sure. And I did Mardi Gras, I think, twice. And it was fun. I mean, I did it twice and I was like, I'm never fucking doing this again. Do you go every single time?
Yeah. I mean, so Mardi Gras really starts. So 12th night is when Mardi Gras starts. So that's 12 days after Christmas. All the Catholics listening, I'm sorry, I'm not Catholic. They're going to give me shit because I'm not calling it by the correct Catholic name, but it's down here. They call it 12th night. So it's the 12th night after Christmas is when Mardi Gras season starts. It's when Carnival starts. It's all over South America, too. That's when they start getting crazy. So the parades basically start around then. And then for the past 2 weeks, it's really like the 10 days or 2 weeks leading up to Mardi Gras. In fact, Peter Giedel is here, our editor over at Frontier Magazine. Shout out to Frontier. I got one right here.
Nice.
Got some
Dude, by the way, I feel like we're not even streaming on Twitter right now.
We're not?
Are we?
Mine is.
Dude, restream is so messed up, man.
I'm streaming.
Are you? Do you see yourself streaming like
I
on
see
your thing?
myself.
You do? Oh,
I
okay. So
do.
never mind that.
Do
Maybe we are.
you?
Maybe we are streaming.
Disgraced?
Is Disgrace streaming?
Let's see if Disgraced is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, you
Oops.
are.
Yeah, but you don't see it in the feed. It's weird. It's not like in the feed.
Maybe we're, yeah.
We got to
We're getting
somehow like
shadow
tweet it.
banned, dude, as they say.
No, it's not bad. It's fucking Restream. Restream sucks. Restream is like fucking a
I've had
nightmare.
good
Okay.
experience with it so far.
I know I had too. It was like way better than Stream
StreamYard.
Goat, StreamYard,
Yeah.
and it was way better. And then suddenly it just like stopped fucking working. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Let's
Yeah.
keep going.
So last
Most people
2 weeks,
watch this afterwards anyway. So
yeah, last 2 weeks, 14 days leading up to it. I think it's every single day there's parades. And if you're like, I got buddies that are like lifelong New Orleans, New Orleanians.
yeah,
They're setting up their family. They got they got ladders with things where they put their kids in them to catch bees. It's like really a whole thing. So, and they're doing that, all over Southern Louisiana. It's really kind of incredible because basically nothing in the city gets done for like the entire last 3 weeks of Mardi Gras. And then people are, people that are visiting for Mardi Gras pretty much leave Sunday evening or maybe Monday morning. And then Tuesday, like really Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras day. I mean, it is like, it's really kind of the city's holiday.
yeah, that's like right. That's like yeah.
And dude, my routine, I shouldn't say this, but this is just really my routine is we get up super early, usually usually as in the last couple of years, I have a 3-year-old. So we've been dropping the kid off at grandma's the night before or something. Or maybe like early in the morning, my wife will take him to grandma's and then I eat 7 to 11 grams of mushrooms at about 7:30. And then I know it's crazy, guys, but listen, I like to live my life on the edge. And then I live in Treme. We're about 5 blocks from Rampart. I think Basin Street actually is where they start Zulu. I could be wrong. I think it's on Basin Street. So yeah, maybe I'll walk over to Basin Street. Zulu starts at 8 a.m. That's like the legit black parade.
Yeah, that's the black one. Right?
Yeah, and it's legit. I mean, there's no joke. If you're like Zulu is one of the greatest parades, maybe, and they've been doing that for 100 years. So that's one of the greatest parades ever. And that's when it starts kicking in. The demons start kicking in about 30 minutes after that, and then it's just I'm surrounded by all the black people of New Orleans, and they can kind of tell I'm not doing great at that point. And then we sort of saunter down into the French Quarter, and then that's like 3 to 4 hour ordeal. And then we go into the Marigny over by Ann's in the Marigny, which I believe when you were here, it was called something else.
Ann's.
You would know the name. It was right there in Marigny on Franklin. Great bar there. So we go, we saunter down into there and then into the Bywater. That's where the craziest party is. I mean, it's just insane. You walk down Bourbon Street, it's pretty insane too, but the real locals are hanging out in the Marigny, and it just is insane. You're there for a few hours, you try not to die, and then you drink a few beers. And then, then you go home, and then it's over. And then on Wednesday morning, so yesterday, people just sort of they do like drive-through ashes on the forehead.
Mm-hmm.
So you just go in your car and they'll put ashes on your forehead. You don't even have to go to mass. And the whole city shut down. I was trying to order Uber Eats yesterday. It was a disaster. Nobody was working. There's no drivers for Uber Eats because this isn't the Uber drivers here and like the Uber delivery people here are not like, they're not Somalians like they are in every other city or like foreigners. They're all just like random white and black dudes from New Orleans. Chalmette. So they're just
there is some like immigrant-y types though down there. None?
There's none.
I feel like I remember
we got a bunch of Hispanic immigrants for sure.
African.
But like they actually have like normal jobs. They're like just work on houses and shit. They're not doing I literally like
Uber.
If I go through my Uber Eats drivers, they're all just like Jamal, Sharon, Michael. And then if I go to DC, it's like Jesus, and like,
Yeah.
and then they're like
New Orleans is the place where you get the super obese, like the guy straight out of Confederacy of Dunces. Like that's who your Uber driver is
oh
every
yeah,
time. He's like sweating. He like is kind of nice, but then you like say the wrong thing and you're like, oh man, he might kill me. Like he's like jiggling all over the place. Like
it's yeah. So there's three
absolutely
people. Yeah,
disgusting. And
there's
he's
like
kind of
three
like
Uber
trying to
drivers.
be a local, but then he's also like some sort of total like psychopathic, like sticking stuff up his ass at home, probably.
There's a
You
there.
know?
So yeah, there's like 3 or 4 different Uber driver personas that I've whittled
Yeah.
it down to. So there's just like Yolanda. So she's
Yeah.
just like your average black girl. She's having a
Yeah.
great time. She's so nice. She's
Oh
great.
yeah. Yeah. Just
Her
having
car
fun.
smells like cigarettes and blunts, but it's like not a problem. Sometimes she has to move the car seat when she's picking you up. She's like, "Oh, my bad, I forgot." And they're great. Those are really good ones. Yolanda is like sort of foil is definitely sort of like a Bruce or Bernard, and he's like a 40,
Bernard.
yeah, Bernard. He's like a 40 to
Bernard.
50-year-old black guy who's like he's quiet,
Oh.
ex-military for sure, but like you just mention the Saints and he just starts going off. And then it's like that's like a legit. And then you get the Richard or Rashard. You get just like you. That's who you're talking about. Sort of like what we would call a Ronnie down here, which is just sort of like
vaguely
a white
music
trash.
related. Maybe he has some kind of
Right.
music
Yeah. Yeah.
something, but
I mean, not even
yeah.
that. It's like dude has a Grammy half the time.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
also
yeah,
good.
yeah.
They
He's
actually
got a
got a Grammy
hat.
40
Sometimes he's
years
got a
ago.
hat. Right. Yeah, yeah. For like playing the piano and
Yeah.
something.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's really true. I was down there for not a super eventful Mardi Gras, but for the Saints Super Bowl win. So I was there for that,
I mean,
and
that was
that was
easily as big as Mardi Gras, if
they
not bigger.
they literally closed the city. They closed the entire city of New Orleans. I don't think any other city in America would have done that. They literally we didn't have law school. We had a holiday from law school on the Monday after the Super Bowl. I was friends with a bunch of New Orleans guys down there, and man, when the Saints won, they were just sobbing. I mean, it was the thing that people do in New Orleans since there's Mardi Gras is anytime anything happens, they go and do a parade.
Yeah.
And like, that's like their default mode is like, let's just go do a parade. So I
Well,
think there was like 3 days of parades for the Saints
I
winning.
don't think there might not be now, maybe Green Bay and like maybe Buffalo. There's a couple cities in the world that give a shit about football as much as New Orleans.
Yeah, they really care. They care a lot more than you would think. It's
And
like
they're
people
like
don't.
it's all they
Yeah,
have. It
yeah,
like
it's all they
really
have.
it's like the murder rate goes up if they're doing bad.
Yeah,
When they're doing good, there's like no murders.
yeah.
But
People
they're
really,
not.
really fucking love the Saints. Like
And it's a
they're,
really easy way
yeah,
to like
yeah, yeah,
if like two men in an elevator in most places just don't talk to each other.
yeah.
In New Orleans, it's like
It's Saints. Yeah,
it's like
football.
they got to bring up the Saints. It's a little
Yeah.
bit like kind of reminds me of like old black guys in DC will still do that a little bit. It's sort of that vibe. Like they'll bring up the Redskins. But
Yeah,
also because nothing's like moved in the last 20 years, people
yeah.
still talk to each other. They're like the default is actually to say hello and like make
Mhm,
conversation to be polite versus just ignore and look at your phone. So like
mhm.
so it's like I don't know how to talk to this random stranger, and so it's just like you see them Saints, you see Tyler Shuck the other night, blah blah blah, and you're like, I'm like, yeah, dude, of course, I'll
Yeah,
talk football with you, stranger. But I don't really like doing that because I am still sort of a neurotic East Coast person that likes to ignore people and just look at my phone. So, but I've gotten
yeah.
into it.
Is it still super slow? I mean, I'm sure it is, but when I was there, it was like you would go to the grocery store and it was like you weren't getting out of there for an hour, like an hour and a half. Like you were like, I just want to go and like get a sandwich,
My dad is
and
like,
I would just be like, can I have a turkey sandwich? And they would just be like, what? And then it would be like 45 minutes later, I would get my turkey sandwich,
yeah,
and
that is.
that drove me
Oh
insane.
my god, dude. My dad is like a good old boy redneck that talks to people at the grocery store. He goes to the grocery store every day. It's just like part of his routine now. He's retired and that's what he's got to do. And Dude, New Orleans, if you were a talker, like my dad's like a furniture salesman. That's what he did.
Yeah, he just goes and talks to
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
And like in New Orleans, literally, you'll be in the aisle in a random, and it is usually black people because I just live in New Orleans, mostly it's black people here. You'll just get like a nice middle-aged black lady being like, I think I want to get this today. And you're just like, I don't know. She's like, you ever tried this? And it's just like she'll pick up some mayonnaise, like Duke's mayonnaise. I heard Duke's mayonnaise is real good. And you just get, if you're, I mean, I used to be somebody that was just not in the mood, and so I would sort of be like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think
I don't know.
Now I'm just like, listen, here's what I do with my mates. Dude, they start talking to you so long. It takes so long to get everything. And listen, I think it's actually really good for your health to there's no rush.
Yeah.
You just like sit there and talk to people, but you'll stand in line and people will have a 5 to 10 minute conversation. And it's impolite to be like, hey, I need to check out. I'm here. I want to leave.
Yeah.
And it's funny because this is a very Jewish city, but it's not New York Jewish.
No, not at all. I mean, the Jews there are very into the whole thing of being New Orleans. Like the Jews there are very much adopted the thing. Yeah. But it's also this. God, I hope nobody's listening to this. It's this very. It's kind of like they're not the best Jews. They're kind of like a middling. They're kind of like the ones that end up in New Orleans. It's kind of like they're not said. It's not the super high IQ ones. It's kind of the lower IQ Jews. And they kind of end up in New Orleans because it's like, but there's a lot of Jews there. They have a great time. They were very kind to me. I shouldn't be mocking them. I will say, like, I didn't love it there, but it definitely changed me forever. Like I would have never probably become an alcoholic, like for real. Without being in New Orleans. I mean, that's where you really learn to drink. That's where you learn that you can be drunk all day and be fine. Like you learn that in New Orleans. Like when I got there, I was like, people are drinking every single opportunity there is to drink. You are drinking, and it's like in LA, it's the opposite. You're drinking in none of those opportunities. Whereas in LA, it's like, oh, we're at brunch. We're going to have a couple drinks and then maybe like a weird pancake shot that has like syrup in it. And it's like, but it's also alcohol. And then it's like, oh, and then we're going to go watch the thing. And it's like, oh, of course we're going to get a drink. So you'll just have 8 drinks just in a normal day in New Orleans all the time.
There's something about like the Mad Men culture, Mad Men, where they were drinking all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just how things used to be. And again, it's like things haven't really updated.
It really is how things used to be.
Yeah, in New Orleans, it's just sort of like, hey, it's 8 a.m. Like, you want a shot in your coffee? And people are just like,
why not? Why would you say no? Yeah, no, I know. That's really like how things used to be.
Zero people frowning upon it. And I don't just mean like in the tourist spots where obviously they're going to try to get you to drink. I mean, you could just be towny ass fucking place.
No, the townies drank more than the tourists. They drink everywhere all the time, and they talk about Saints. That's what you do in New Orleans. You drink at weird times and talk about the Saints, and you're just drunk all the fucking time. Cigarettes. Yeah, I got pulled over there a couple times, fucking obliterated, blackout, and did not get a DUI because they're just like, oh yeah, we're not good. Just go away. You're fine.
Dude, I have lived here almost 6 years. I have the first 3 to almost 4 years I was here. My tag said 2019 from Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been pulled over by a cop. I've also been in like 3 car accidents. I've actually seen a cop take a U-turn when he saw an accident. And he looked at me in the eye and he said, I just can't even deal with it.
Sorry, I can't deal with this right now. Yeah, it's the only place in America where you park going the wrong way all the time. You just park whichever way you want. Yeah. Parking does not, you don't have to park the direction of traffic in New Orleans. You can park the other direction.
That is really, oh man, that is the other thing that, it like you said, it really does change you. Cause like I go back to the DC area when I'm here And little things like that, I just sort of forget. Like I just run red lights here all the time. Like people just
Yeah.
do that. Nobody cares because it's like if there's no cars, no, you're just gonna go like or whatever. It's just like the rules here are just extremely loose.
Well, and that's how it is in most of the rest of the world. It's just America is so
That is true.
gay and has its the second you get, I love going to Baja. It's like my favorite fucking place in the world because you drive into Baja and just immediately you can just feel that thing of when you go to New Orleans where you're just like, I can park where I want. I can smoke where I want. I can fucking just, no one is paying attention, you know? And that's really, it really is America. We have our sticks so far up our fucking asses. I mean, Western Europe is the same, but everywhere, and Western Europe's fucking worse. But everywhere outside of Western Europe and America, you have that like relaxed feeling of just like, give it a
I
fucking
think,
rest, man.
but that is actually how you maintain Western culture. Otherwise,
Yeah,
New Orleans is
unfortunately, right.
different.
Yeah.
New Orleans is just like
Yeah. It's
Caribbean North.
dying. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
no,
Yeah.
it's a third world shithole in a lot of ways. It is a Caribbean nation run by blacks that aren't great at fiscal policy or managing projects, and the people here are just
Or
fucking.
managing projects.
They're just
Uh
like we have a new mayor. We do have a
not,
white mayor right now with a
not a
Hispanic
lot
last
of
name.
project managers in the black community.
Yeah, well, there's a lot
No,
of them.
yeah.
They're just not good at managing.
There's one city in the north that is like this though, and it's so sick, and I fucking love going there. It's my favorite place to go.
Is
Literally
it
my favorite
Milwaukee?
place. Fucking Milwaukee, dude. Milwaukee is the only place in America that I just fucking adore. I get off the plane, I'm just like, Milwaukee. Because it's the same fucking thing. People are drunk. They're more drunk in Milwaukee. I mean, New Orleans, probably 10 out of 10 maximum. But they are equally as drunk in Milwaukee as they are in New Orleans. People, because it's just like Germans, it's like the dregs of the Germans. It's
Yeah.
like the real German, really serious alcoholics just made a state, and it's the city of that state. People do not give a fuck in Milwaukee. It's great. It's the same thing. You drink morning till night. Any place you go into, it's just like drink now. Like you're having a Bloody Mary, you're having disgusting cheese curds any time of day, and people like party really hard. Like it's like a really like insane party town. You saw that map of like people drinking, and it's
Yeah.
like Wisconsin's like bright fucking red because yeah, there's like a great race, and it's the total opposite of Michigan. Michigan is like the most longhouse, annoying, fucking Gretchen Whitmer, whiny liberal fucking place, and like the destroyed. And Wisconsin's like the cool version of it, and it's like cool Germans. It's really fucking sick. That's the
I think
only
the
other place
Germans
I get
have.
that New Orleans fun.
There's a little German influence in southern Louisiana too. They came over in similar later than the Cajuns, but there's some of that dreg of German debauchery. A little bit of the Pennsylvania Dutch.
Mm.
There's a few of them. There's
So
something called the German Coast down here, which is in the Cajun area that they came and settled with the Cajuns, and the Cajuns were like, "Yeah, you guys are just huge, and you're crazy like us. We like this."
So who are the Cajuns again?
The Cajuns were a group. They were the Acadians. They settled in Acadia, I believe, in Canada. Uh,
So they okay. They're
and they
French.
were, yes, French Canadian. They were
French
they
Canadians.
were cut. They were shipped out of Canada when England took over and said, "You guys got to go." They were banished. They were deported, and so most of them just went down the Mississippi and like they just went all the way down to the bottom of the Mississippi and went to New Orleans or went to southern Louisiana to settle in like the swamps. And that's where they've been ever since. And like pretty much uncontacted in a lot of ways until the 20th century because they didn't really build highways down here. So I-10 was like built in the 60s or 70s. Now, if anybody's listening and I'm full of shit, please like type in the comment on the thing so we can see. But that is generally, I believe that's correct. And so they're white, they're old. It's an old white culture. It's one of the last preserved white cultures in America. Now they
Which is
definitely
funny because you think of the Cajuns with either the Cajuns or the Creoles.
Creoles are the blacks usually.
The Creoles are the backs. Okay, so I think people mix up the Cajuns
Yeah,
and the
because what
Creoles.
happened in the 60s through like the 90s, really, 60s, there was like a revival of Cajun culture, sort of nationally. There was like a marketing project around that. And then Creole Cajun food and stuff like that got really big in the 80s and 90s. And so they kind of started using those terms interchangeably.
Oh, I see. But
You're
really,
like,
it's
oh,
totally different.
Creole fish or Cajun, Cajun chicken. They started using those
Mm-hmm.
interchangeably to just represent spicy and South
Mm-hmm.
in Louisiana. But they're few, they're very distinct. So an example would be the original use, the term Cajun or Creole just meant that you were born in America. That's all that actually meant. So if you were a slave that was born in America, you were considered a Creole. So, or if you were a French person who was born in America, you were considered Creole. So the Creoles could be white or black. It didn't really matter. And you have a bunch of people that kind of came from the Caribbean. You get the Haitians and the Hispanics. Anybody who basically came here and then was born here were basically considered Creole. So New Orleans is a Creole city because it was basically metropolitan French that came here that were not Cajun. Cajuns came in like the 1700s. A lot of the French, just people that came from France or people that came from Spain, because Spain ran it here for like 50 years up until like the Louisiana Purchase. They came here and they would be considered Creole because they're more metropolitan. They're like from the city, and they didn't really have anything to do with Cajun culture, which is a very distinct French Catholic. So there you go. Creoles are people of French or Spanish descent, not born in the home country. There you go. Thank you, Georgie.
Creoles are people of French or Spanish descent, not born.
Yeah.
Oh, so it just means like an expat. It just means like an expat.
No, not
French
expat.
person.
Expat would mean that you were at least born there. Here, it's the kids of the expats, really.
The kids of the expats.
So definitely.
Okay.
So if you look in like the.
But why are they black? Why are Creoles? When I think of Creole, I think of like a really light-skinned,
right,
like light-skinned woman or light-skinned like man who's running for mayor.
That's usually
is a Creole.
Because you're thinking usually what that is people that were like around the plantations or in the city, and so free blacks mixed a lot with whites and everybody else. That's where you get quadroons, octoroons, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so it was just people that just weren't. So it's just, all that is everybody's basically Creole except the Cajuns. If you're like a true from this area, so that's
everybody's Creole except the Cajuns.
If you're really from here, so that means you usually mixed with a little bit of black. But even the pure black, so if you're just black and you came here as a slave, and you can see this on all the old slave ledgers, their kids are they all say Creole next to their name. So they're not African, they're Creole, they're Americans. They're legitimately African Americans. They're born here. And then the French and the Spanish just were way more apt to mixing. Both French and Spanish slave law had much more manumission and rebuying, so you could get out of slavery. They were all about that, and there was just more freedom on Sundays. You were usually off on Sundays. You could do whatever you want. That's why Congo Square and all the second lines are big on Sundays in New Orleans, because that's been going on since slavery time. So both those cultures, Spain and France, ran this area for so long that like the idea that you would have black people in your family or Native Americans or any of those, like any of that mix, Hispanic, like Ramos, a bunch of Spanish names are big down here, just as much as, even French names. There's a lot of old Spanish names here too. So intermixing and all that stuff, that's all very normal down here. But yeah, when you think of like a Creole, you think of a light-skinned, green-eyed, good-looking ass fucking
like
black
a green-eyed black woman, or yeah.
I'm
like,
gay, so I think it's a black man. I've actually, when I first moved here, I told a lot of men they were like beautiful, and they were like, "What are you saying to me, dude? I never see your eyes like that."
Eating shrimp etouffee.
Yeah,
they always have shrimp etouffee on the menu, which I still don't even really know what that is.
Which is interesting.
I think it's shrimp and grits. It's like shrimp mixed with grits or something.
Thing.
Yeah, and that's like for breakfast. You eat a lot of shrimp etouffee for breakfast.
Yeah, etouffee is good. Like gumbo, sort of a. There's Creole gumbo and the French, and then there's Cajun gumbo. A lot of these are shared. You know, it's all still sort of French influence, but they have Creole is going to have more of your African and Caribbean stuff involved, and then the Cajuns. You know, Cajuns definitely mixed as well, dude. There's some people. Obviously, you can't be a black Cajun. I know people are going to listen to this, but there are black people in Cajun country that have definitely adopted that culture because they've been around the Cajuns more than they were maybe around the Creoles. So, yeah. And I'm kind of shouldn't be talking about this, honestly, because I'm not fucking from here. And so people hear me talking about this shit and they're like,
You don't know what you're talking about.
transplant talking about
Yeah.
Cajuns and Creoles, nothing worse. But
Yeah, you're a fucking.
whatever.
I mean,
Shit.
why it is.
People think my wife
Does
is
any
Cherokee,
is
which is great.
she's the not
She's from
feather,
Pakistan. Pakistan.
the
No,
red dot.
yeah, she's turban.
Yeah, the other guy. So
Suicide.
isn't it weird that why is it? It doesn't make any sense to me that it's so like the North Americans did not like at all mix with the Indians, but in the South they mix with them so much you can't even fucking tell the difference anymore. It's so weird. It's like why the fuck
Well,
is Mexico the entire country of Mexico mestizo, and then right about on the top of the line right here there's no fucking mixing. It's like that's just so strange to me. Like
it is the
why did that happen? It's just because the Spanish are basically Africans.
there was a
So
couple,
they were like
couple issues with this. There was a couple things. The Spanish, once they made you Catholic, you could just you could take them as a wife, basically.
Mhm.
And they subjugated those people much quicker than we did. We were at war with the Indians much longer, the English. And the English came here for lots of different reasons, not necessarily to convert Christians. The second thing is they did slavery different down there. They would sort of like enslave the native population, then they would obviously bring shit tons of slaves, but you know, the Spanish are just, you know, once you started mixing, it got like more and more okay to like you bang your slaves. I don't think it was as big of an issue because the British that came here were very uptight.
Right. I feel like that's kind of what it was. And also the Indian women were more busted up here, whereas down there they were more like Colombian type.
I don't think that's true. I
It
think
was Colombian
actually,
hotties.
I think they were all ugly. Because, dude, if
100%
if you see a Colombian hottie, it's actually like because she doesn't have a lot of a meridian in her.
Meridian being some sort
Ameridian.
Ameridian. What's an Ameridian?
I think it's like a Indian. A Merindian.
From there. But that's like
the natives are very squatty and ugly.
Right. Yeah, they do say that.
So like the
I
Amazon
don't know
women,
if that's true in Colombia though. That's more of the like mountain people that are supposed to be ugly.
The Andes. Yeah, I don't know though.
Yeah, the
I'm
Andeans.
still trying to think through this because my buddy was getting married in Tulum, and we were out in the water, and we were like, dude, could you imagine like you're just like Spanish sailors, you haven't seen chicks in like forever, and you're like pulling up on the beach in this like beautiful blue water, and then like on the beach is just like fat ass Latinas just screaming for you to come hang out and bang them.
Well, the thing that the thing that I always remember in learning about this is like, you know, Captain Cook, like of the whoever the fuck that was of Hawaii or whatever. I think he found Hawaii or something.
I don't think that doesn't sound right.
I think he founded Hawaii. Captain Cook, who founded Hawaii. I don't know, maybe fucking one of those islands. Anyway, he showed up and it was like him and a bunch of super like repressed Englishmen, you know, and they like showed up on the fucking beach of Hawaii.
Oh no, he was killed in Hawaii.
Yeah, I think he got killed in Hawaii. So one of those islands out there, and he shows up, and the whole thing is that like the women just ran up to them and started like fucking them on the beach, like on the fucking spot.
That's
Like
so
there was
funny.
no, and the guys were just like, "Whoa, like what is happening?" Like, and it's like that today. You go to Southeast Asia, it's basically the same fucking thing for a white guy. So, and it's just, I think it's like they just don't view sex the same way or something. I don't know what it is, but I wonder if that's how it was when the white man showed up to like Colombia. It was just they were like, we're fucking. Whereas the red man, the more northern Indian types, maybe they were a little more, I don't know, prude. Maybe they were more into their own thing.
Well, the other thing is chattel slavery. I don't know. Honestly, I think it just came down to if you had a hot slave, you were gonna bang her. Like there was
Well, no, but you're now talking about slave banging. I'm still talking about
the natives.
native banging, which is a different thing.
I
Because the
think
natives weren't good
I think it was
slaves.
hard to like nail down the natives. They were always running around, right? I'm
But
getting
isn't that
really
a
historical.
mestizo from Mexico, like a
Yeah.
Mexican or a Colombian person?
They were
When we
like
think of them in our
encouraged.
head,
They were encouraged to mix with them
yeah. Whereas the Puritans were like, no, we're not
because
mixing with you.
usually the Spanish would just send dudes here. I don't think they
Yeah,
even brought women.
yeah, right. It wasn't really like yeah, true. Like it wasn't like
It
it's
was an
amazing
experiment.
how many like peoples of the world are just straight up. The entire race is a rape child.
Yeah.
Like that is literally what Mexican
I
people
mean, dude,
are.
you're
They
looking
are
at
a
one
rape.
right now. You're
That's
looking
what it
at
is.
one of the most raped child ever. I'm half Puerto Rican and I'm half like multiple types of white trash. And this is what
Yeah,
you get. You get a
total rape
total
child.
fat alcoholic faggot who now just lives in New Orleans and is rape
Uh,
again.
yeah, I'm
I
a
call it rape
reverse
mixing instead
rape
of
child.
race mixing. It's
I'm
better.
a Jews. I'm a subversion rape child. I'm the Jewish subverting rape. It's
Yeah,
reverse rape. It's the woman raping the man via subversion.
I like that. That's
That's
better.
that's what happened.
But I
Yeah,
don't think I'm gonna have my kid's not very sickly though, so I think it's like you make a mutt. You got to do some mutt stuff. But then
yeah, yeah.
I said that on Twitter, and obviously, you say shit on
Of
Twitter,
course, everybody
and
hates hearing that. Yeah.
everybody says dumb shit, and then somebody says something that you're like, oh shit, I never thought about that. Apparently, I can't ever donate like an organ to my own child.
Is that true?
Yeah, because like now he's just like too different than me.
He's too different than you? Wow. That's fucking
But
wild.
saying that, I was gonna give my kidney to my dad. And what's funny is that same thing. They were like, "Oh yeah, you're not even like close to the same blood type." I don't know why your mom. My mom told me we were the same blood type like my whole life. But my dad had been on like I don't know anti-rejection pills for so long it didn't matter because he had already had a liver transplant. That's long story. But
Did you give him your kidney?
no, this is so bad. Some chick died of a drug overdose, and her kidney was good to go, and she had hepatitis. My dad had hepatitis, and so now like the drugs. This was like 5 years ago. The drugs are good enough. Or I guess it's a little longer. The drugs are so good now that like you can just take a hepatitis thing if you have hepatitis, and then you can just cure hepatitis now. So my dad's hepatitis is basically cured from Harvoni or something is the drug. But yeah, so this bitch
Wow.
stole my fucking glory. I would have like
Oh,
made up for
damn.
being like a bad kid my whole life by giving my dad my kidney. And they were just like, hey, we're gonna go with, drug overdose chick in Detroit or whatever. Which I should. So my dad has a kidney and a liver transplant. So I think I want to
Damn.
do if things really go well for me, I win the lottery or I somehow I get like a scam contract in New Orleans, which could happen. Like trash pickup $3
Yeah,
million
that's right.
contract and then never pick up the trash and then just say like, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
That's what everybody else does, I guess. I'm gonna invest in a documentary to like go find out the stories of the people who gave my dad their kidney.
Oh,
My
yeah,
dad's
that's a good
liver
idea.
was a 17-year-old that died in a car accident.
Damn.
Isn't that fucked up? And his family did write us a letter, and I think my dad like kind of wrote back a letter. I don't know.
He was like, I'm using it,
Just like thanks.
using it well.
Sucks to suck. He didn't drink for like 10
Wow.
years. Now he drinks.
He drinks on the 17-year-old's liver.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Well, I
would
mean,
like
dude,
a
he got the liver in 30 years ago almost.
wow.
So
30 years ago.
yeah,
Damn.
like in 1998.
And was just from alcohol?
No, not no. No, he got hepatitis from a drug. So he said it was from a blood transfusion, but then like later we were at a Redskins game and he was really drunk and he said he like banged a midget like in the back of like an ice cream truck and we were like, dude, is that how you got hepatitis? He's like, I don't know, never know.
I
My dad did a lot of
don't
redneck
think you
shit.
get I don't think you get hepatitis from banging a midget.
I don't think he was doing drugs, but he was
No, it
definitely
probably was from a trend. I mean, that maybe
blood
happens.
transfusion.
So.
Yeah, back in the day,
Ugh,
that's how a lot of people got
terrifying.
hepatitis. Yeah. So yeah, that's
Um,
talking about. I guess we'll just yeah, New Orleans. Mardi Gras has been fun. That's another way you
Mardi
can
Gras
get
is great.
hepatitis.
Yeah.
Walking through the French
Uh,
Quarter.
so what's the deal with Shia? Is he gonna live there now? He moved
He
there.
bought
So
a
now,
house.
you know what's funny? He lives in Pasadena. So I see him all the time.
Well,
He's
he bought a
constantly
house
there.
down here. I think he's
Yeah.
leaving LA. He bought a house in the Garden District, $1 million house.
Yeah, which is like not a lot. That's like not even that nice a house in New
For
Orleans. I
Garden
mean,
District, yeah, it's not bad.
it's not bad, but it's not like it's
No,
like
I mean,
pretty fucking normal.
well, housing market's crashed a little bit here, but yeah, I mean, that's $1 million in the Garden District is way different than like $1 million like in the Bywater or other places in New Orleans. But he, I think he's living here now because
Wow.
he got a divorce with Mia Goth and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
what happened with that? Why did he and Mia
I
Goth
don't know.
break
I'm
up?
not. I think he's just a psycho. He's a crazy ass dude.
He's
No, his
really
dad's
not though.
from Slide
He's actually like a totally like basic bitch guy
Yeah.
who more or less just like again, my favorite documentary of all time is that movie called the provoke or the provokers. Why do I always say that? It's called The Dividers.
Okay.
This is my favorite documentary ever made. It was made by this like 4chan guy in Australia, and he can't release it because it's like there's too many. Like it begins and ends with the song like "A Real Hero" from Drive that became like kind of like an
Sure.
anthem for like
Yeah.
4chan weirdos. So like the music Jew has like cracked down on him. It is the best fucking documentary to like understand our world ever. And it's the whole saga of 4chan, including Nick Fuentes as like an 18-year-old Nick Fuentes. He's in the documentary. And it's him versus Shia LaBeouf over the flag, over the fucking "He Will Not Divide Us" flag. And the whole thing is like through the conduit of this evil art guy named something Taylor. I can never fucking remember his name. And it's so fucking good. It's the best like slice of culture ever. It glorifies 4chan. And what 4chan did to find the flag was the most incredible shit ever. Like they completely destroyed Shia LaBeouf. Like Shia LaBeouf. Oh fuck. Where'd you go? Ah,
Are you there?
yeah, there you are. Yeah, they like so him and this guy Taylor something who's the most annoying fucking art guy who like goes after people for like being anti-Semitic and sues them and shit. Totally evil guy. They made this "He Will Not Divide Us" video on a wall in Manhattan.
Right.
Maybe I think Manhattan, maybe Brooklyn. Yeah, I think it was in Manhattan on some art thing. So it's just like a video on a wall, and it says like "He will not divide us," and people are supposed to come and like give their reason why Trump will not divide us, right? And Shia's just like a dumb wigger. Like Shia doesn't understand really what's going on. Like he's just wants to be cool really badly. And he's getting kind of like Shia actually seems totally cool in this documentary. He just seems like very misguided. But there's this like evil guy who's like using Shia as a puppet to like be like a wigger on the screen, be like, "You will not divide us." And Shia is like trying to be a hard ass. And so of course, fucking 4chan learns about this video and they start just coming and like slowly fucking with people on the video. Like they'll stand in the background and drink milk, which then everybody starts thinking is a like racist
White
thing.
supremacist.
So they'll like drink milk behind Shia LaBeouf, and Shia LaBeouf will be like, "Why are you drinking milk?" And like it'll turn it, and it'll like, and they'll like go on there and they'll like say bad words, like they'll like whisper it into the camera, and everybody will like freak out. It really is like the very beginning of like woke getting defeated by like us, you know,
Wow.
by people like us.
So where can I
And
find this?
dude, so incredibly, it's gotten like taken down from everything. You can find it in like certain places, but even the version that's there, it's still really, really, really fucking good, but it doesn't have the music because it's like the guy's worried about getting sued, I guess. But it's so fucking good. So then the He Will Not Divide Us gets like taken down and moved somewhere. I forget exactly what it is. It's like a flag. It gets like moved because they just get trolled to death. Shia like gets thrown in jail because he tries to fight somebody because like, you know, Nick Fuentes literally shows up and Nick Fuentes is in the camera like talking shit to people as like a young guy. It's so good. And slowly but surely the trolls just like win. And then they keep trying to move the flag to show that like we will not be defeated by racists, and they moved the flag to nowhere in the middle of nowhere. Did you know the story? It's in the
Yeah,
middle of fucking nowhere.
yeah.
So it's just at the top of a pole, and all you see is just blue sky and flag. That's it.
But then
And so they're like,
they
"There's
started
no
figuring it
way."
out based on the stars or the moon, right?
A plane flies by.
Right.
So a fucking plane flies by. So they're able to like do the trajectory of like where that plane could possibly be at that time, and they figure it out that it's in fucking Tennessee, and they take it down and put up like a 4chan flag. It's so fucking amazing. Like you cannot believe this actually happened. It's like one of the greatest things ever to happen in culture ever. Cuz it's just like fucking dorks and fakes like Shia, getting fucked by like real, you know, real people. And
I
it's
love
so good, man. And it's just like total victory for 4chan. It's really sad what happened. They just 4chan, I think, is like gone now. Doesn't it like not exist? It's like dead. It's like taken
Yeah,
over by the feds.
yeah, essentially. That's I mean, the whole thing, the subversion of the power of I don't even know what word I would use. I guess trolls, I guess, of trolling and just like, hey, like your shit is gay and you know, your art project for your friends is fucking gay and we're going to fuck with it. While I don't always condone it, but it's like, let it, I think if you're somebody that really cares about your art, and actually, maybe I'll pose this to you because you're more of an artist than me. But if you're somebody that like kind of like believes in what you're doing, don't you kind of like let it? Isn't it organic if like things just sort of come from there? You know, if even if it's turns into the opposite of what you wanted it
Yeah,
to
well,
be.
that's what the art piece really. So the funny thing is, the art piece became exactly what they wanted to be. Oh, I forgot. The huge other giant character in the documentary is Sam Hyde.
Oh,
So Sam Hyde is the other like big force on the side of the trolls, and he goes down, and it becomes like Sam Hyde because Sam Hyde's like an art guy.
yeah,
He went to school with this Taylor guy, and
nice.
Sam Hyde admits that this Taylor dude paid him to go and like start controversy. So in a way,
Mm.
it could be that this Taylor guy, I really wish I remembered his name, uh is actually a total genius, and he got exactly what he wanted out of the whole thing because it was like the greatest art piece in a very fucking long time, and Shia just got like played as a fucking fool, you know.
As a
uh
whole. Yeah,
but yeah, it's like Sam Hyde's a big part of this whole thing too. It's like Sam Hyde, Nick Fuentes, like versus Shia LaBeouf. It's so good.
this is something though. It kind of goes back to something I wanted to talk about a little bit, which is like when everything becomes internet culture. The loss of our regional cultures, our local cultures,
Yeah.
the loss of our heretical cultures, whatever you want to call them.
Heretical,
Heretical,
hereditary,
hereditary,
heretical.
hereditary cult, whatever it is, all of the things. As those all sort of not balkanize. I'm sorry, turn into monoculture. Um, the internet becomes the culture, and then it's all ideological, and it's like it's all turns into sort of a, which I think is like why the right can't win, because they still think that like right wing is a culture when it's not. You can't.
Yeah, God, so true,
Political
dude.
ideology, it's not a culture. And so
No.
then they try to do right wing art or right wing books or right wing, and it's just like you can't. It's not ever going to be a thing. It has to be authentic culture. You can't. Politics is not culture. Red is not a culture. Blue is not a culture. And this is the biggest thing they don't remember. When the left started doing that, they destroyed the culture, and that started around Obama. Obama was like, "Oh, now we should make movies about black people that aren't true. Let's only give awards to black people that they didn't earn. And let's have award shows and night shows and all these things. Let's just turn them into political ideology." And what have they become? Jokes to most of the country. It's a very small portion who have lost their culture, have thrown away their culture, love that because they're retarded and obsessed with it, and that's their religion now. So that is like, and people go, well, the left owns culture. Well, no, they used to, in a way, because those people just happen to be liberal, because it used to just be liberal to just like go to movies kind of and like
Yeah.
smoke weed, I guess, like, and like
Yeah.
think about things differently, and be able to make a movie. But it's just, no, like they got rid of the best movie maker, Harvey Weinstein. I don't think that guy was like totally some like, I care about black people. I don't think he like cared about that shit. I think he cared about making really good movies, and then they fucking killed him or whatever. He's not dead. I don't know. But they got rid of him, and now movies suck. So you got rid of the Mecha Jew who made the best movies ever. Basically,
It's not that they
Weinstein-
got rid of him specifically. They got rid of the entire breed of him. You
Yeah,
know?
they got rid of men
That's
that were
really
good
what it is. Yeah,
at
they got
making
men. They got rid of men that were insane, but really, really fucking dedicated to the crafts.
Yeah.
You know, that's
And this
that's what
happened
they got rid of.
everywhere,
Yeah.
and they destroyed. So the left destroyed the cultural institutions that they owned, and now they're sort of lashing out and hanging on. And then the right goes, "Oh, I hate this," and they just are bitches because they don't understand that like you've also lost your culture, and so now you have Kid Rock and everything, which is the most
Yeah.
cultureless, retarded, terrible shit ever. I hate Kid Rock. Kid Rock should be banished from the right forever, from everything. It was funny for like two things. Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah, and then it's like this is all you got.
what are you
Yeah,
doing?
but that's because what I've realized about people in the right is that the right is
Has no taste.
no, the right is just like there it is. Yeah, Luke Turner. Right. Yeah, dude, that movie is so fucking good. The fucking Dividers, truly the greatest documentary I've ever seen. It literally, and it's just by some total random fucking guy. I don't think is Enoch in there. No, Crowder's not in that, and Enoch's not in that. Brittany Venti is in it, but anyway, so yeah, I don't know. There's so much bitching about the right that I could do. It's just it's like I don't know. I had a super viral thing about this recently. It's kind of like what the right has become. Look, there are right wing people that are fine. You know, there's
Of course.
senators like Mike Lee. As much as people didn't like Mike Lee's thing, like Mike Lee is a thinking conservative. He has the power to get shit done. Like I'm not saying that there are right wing forces that have the ability to get things actually done. Right, that's true. It's more just like I think it's just kind of like a Copernican moment to realize that when these motherfuckers are out here talking about we need to set up a right-wing patronage system. It's a patronage system. They are not gonna fucking do that. They're gonna talk about it, but they are not gonna fucking do it. because their job is to talk about it, and that's what they do. They are never, you're never gonna, that's never gonna happen. These people saying we need to have a right wing arts establishment. It is never going to happen. They are never gonna one day make the right wing art institute, or like the we need to make the right wing art, the Kennedy Center. I mean, even
Because
this Trump thing with the Kennedy
fails,
Center.
it fails on the premise.
Yeah, it's just not going to fucking happen because they're worse at the job than people on the left, and they don't want to actually make it. They want to
Yeah.
fucking talk about it. The people on the left are not sitting around talking about making patronage networks. They don't think of it that way.
Right.
They just do it. They're just doing it.
Those networks were set up not ostensibly because they were all left wing. Some of them
Right.
maybe a little bit, but they set up patronage networks around really good art,
Really, exactly.
good
Yeah.
movie making, really good music, really good cultural identity that happened to. Then all those people just started agreeing with each other about politics in the last 20 years. That's a very, I don't think
exactly. Yes, that's exactly right.
Fine, but so you can't start from there. You can't
exactly.
go, I'm going to support right-wing things now because most right-wing things are retarded because they're political.
They're starting from the worst part of it. They're saying we want to recreate the thing we hate the most about our enemy, and it's like, no, the reason why fucking art and shit got so terrible and is so bad is because it got politicized. Exactly like you're saying. It's like this last 20 years in art was a complete aberration. It's not like it was always like this. Like, yeah, sure, America is a liberal place, and we've always been a place of, American values are liberal in their sort of core sense, but they're also very meritocratic, right? They're very much about a personal ability and destiny and that type of shit. There are plenty of right-leaning things in American culture, probably more so than Europe.
And also,
yeah,
when they did things like that, an example was like Marlon Brando in bringing the Indian up for him to accept his award at the Academy Awards. That was super subversive. That was crazy. If you did that today, it'd be the most fucking lame shit.
Yeah, everybody would agree with you. It's the Cherokee
you're
woman.
not punk rock, right? It's like punk, you're not punk anymore. The shit you're doing is not cool. So in a way, like, and so right wing is like, oh, we're so many things that are going on in the culture are actually kind of punk and moving right, but they're all organic. Young kids going to church, young kids fucking not drinking. Young kids fucking, just becoming a little bit more fucking, authoritarian and a little bit more right wing and not
is not drinking right wing or is drinking right wing? I can't decide which one is more right wing.
See, it's just what it is it's not doing what everyone else is doing, and so there's both sides to that. Because there's nothing right wing about a fucking Silicon Valley faggot who's like, I'm not drinking to to maximize my health. That's gay. It's gay, dude. Because you're just like, I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess, if you're like, it's still kind of interestingly subversive. But it's like in the same way, it's like because we have this paradigm of what's right wing, what's left wing. That's the worst paradigm ever. It is the dumbest paradigm, I think, to like ever really start with like an idea or purpose. And this comes to the idea behind Dixie Magazine, the idea behind, I think, any sort of new media organization. If you were starting a media organization today, if you were ostensibly trying to create a conservative or a liberal media org right now, I think you are 20 years late and you're about to burn capital like you've never thought. And you're going to never own any market share.
Yeah, it's like let's start a Substack called, some Roman word. It's like Bardo, and we are gonna have really interesting essays on right wing thought.
Yeah.
And it's like, on the one hand, I don't hate it because it's like, all right, you are providing entertainment for dorks. That's what
That's
you're
the
doing.
thing. It is
You
that is
know,
the other. It's the brainwashing of Twitter. And if you spend all day every day on Twitter, you start to believe that is reality. And then things do, because a lot of tastemakers and leaders and politicians, there's a lot of smart people there. So they end up getting
yeah.
people like Nate Hochman to write their fucking, their fucking speeches, and then they're fucking does a really good speech because he's a really smart guy, but he's a fucking Twitter guy. You know what I mean? Like he's Twitter head.
Did
He's a Twitter head
Hockman
too.
write? Did Hockman write the Rubio speech?
No, I don't know about that. That'd be
That
crazy.
felt like a Hockman speech.
That'd be
Not
insane.
to hate on Hockman. It's fine. Hockman's a great speechwriter. Whatever. I
No,
like
he's
Hockman.
great, but
I have nothing against Hockman.
no,
Yeah,
yeah, that's my point though. He's like Hockman's great, smart dude, but it is like
it's
this
like
is
right. It's
Twitter
kind of like
brain.
Twitter pilled. Yeah, right.
And don't get me
Exactly. And
wrong, there is a
that's what
huge place for that right now in the political sphere, right?
right.
And we
But
start
not in
thinking,
culture.
right,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
take this political sphere and let's make that our culture. That is retarded. And it's backwards. And it's
Yeah.
all from people with no taste and
Mhm.
no real cultural. These aren't cultural people. These aren't people like half of these people's culture started when fucking Bronze Age pervert got famous. And they're like, oh shit, I should
Mhm.
read philosophy. I should like I
Yeah.
should like go stand in the sun and do push-ups and read philosophy now, because that's like what like cool bass dudes do. But they're really just trying to fuck e-girls. They're not real people, and they're just on
Mhm.
Twitter all the time. That's all they're doing. And don't get me wrong, I'm on
Yeah.
Twitter all the time too. I'm not like saying these people are worse than me or better than me, but for culture and media and what people want right now,
Yeah,
especially
it's
the
just so
normies,
much
they want
bigger.
good shit.
It's just so much bigger. Like the story that should be told to people is so much bigger than Twitter. And it's like you see there, yeah, it's true that Twitter is very influential at the very top, and the top does filter down. Like these ideas are kind of permeating culture a little bit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Dasha was on fucking HBO, and
They're permeating culture
this.
because culture is bec- you're getting more rewards for political content, or people think so, but ultimately they are. That's the sad thing. The fact that Dasha matters at all is a political construct. It's not a culture. She's not saying anything interesting. She's just interviewing Nick Fuentes and kind
Mhm.
of being like dumb with her friend. But they're girls, and and it's like
Well,
kind of
but that's
cool.
just about being edgy, right? I mean, that's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
look, edginess is always going to be sexy, always.
Yeah,
And so, right now, being a little right wing, a
yeah,
tiny, tiny bit right wing, and like saying "fuck the Jews"
yeah,
is like exactly edgy right now.
yeah,
And that's for good reason. It's for very good reason because, as we said, the past 20 years weren't just like in America in the 90s. If you had said the N word, which I can't believe I still have to say, by the way, I really should just fucking say it. But if you said the N word, no, you weren't in trouble. It was like people were like, yeah, okay. I mean, if you called somebody it, yeah, sure, you would have gotten like, that would not have been acceptable. But just verbalizing the word, oh, the word, the bad satanic word has come from my mouth. That would have been insane. Nobody thought that way. And then in the past, that's what I was saying to that like little dork gay slave, that
the boy that writes about
left
you.
wing. What the fuck is his name? Left wing analysis.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying to him. Like he actually had some really interesting ideas, and I appreciated him coming on. So I'm just talking shit about him. But the thing I was saying to him is like, okay, he's a neoliberal. I want to be a neoliberal. I want to be free to, have, the best talent from India and like blah blah. I was like, that is a pretty compelling argument for an American, right? Being able to access everything, free borders, free whatever. That's a very compelling argument. Uh, it's like morally, right? But that's not what the left is today. The left was that. The left used to be like, yeah, I mean, just the normal normie left. The normal normie left used to be like, yeah, like, let's give people a chance and open borders and, neoliberalism. But then neoliberalism became creepy, insane communist leftism for the past 20 years, where people were getting fucking thrown in jail for saying the N word. It became, if you don't put a mask on, you're fucking going to lose your job. Like, that's what neoliberalism became. And that's what fucked everything up for 20 years. Like, it will be looked back on, this period will be looked back on as the woke period in America. And it'll be looked at as like McCarthyism. There'll be like this 10-year period where people were getting blacklisted and blackballed and people were losing their jobs. And, there were lists of bad men and shit. That's what it'll be. It'll be that same fucking thing. I think, thankfully, it's over now. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's back. Do you think it's back? I hope not, but it might be.
I think the left has done the thing the right is falling into, and there's no one on the left. Man, I thought Dave Chappelle was going to be one of the leaders on the left to be like, hey, guys, we got to stop doing this fucking shit.
Well, he sort of was for a minute.
He was.
I don't know what fucking
and then he's
there,
like, now he's laying wreaths.
Yeah.
At the fucking where some fucking dude got shot by ice. Like, what?
Yeah, Alex Pretty.
What are you doing? Are you? And this is not a. That is brainworms retarded. It is as retarded as doing a video with Kid Rock, though. So I consider these are all the same, but it is a obsession of it's a political obsession. I truly do believe that if given the opportunity for people to just watch movies and read books and watch nobody reads books, but because right now everybody does want subversive. They want subversive. They want just the opposite of whatever 5 years ago it was. They're pissed off still, especially people that are even like kids. The punk today is saying nigger in fuck the Jews. That is punk rock now. Unfortunately, when I was a kid, punk rock was saying, I love Barack Obama and I think communism is actually kind of cool and Bernie Sanders is like actually maybe interesting. Maybe socialism is a good idea.
But that wasn't really punk rock though.
No, but it wasn't
as punk rock as
I'm saying in high school, not where I'm from and probably not where you're from.
It was Rage Against the Machine. It was Rage Against.
Yes, it was Rage Against the Machine.
It was Rage Against the Machine. It was sort of vague fuck the man. It was sort of undefined lefty, but it
was dying then even because we had all kind of agreed. But I think there was Iraq War, Afghanistan, 9/11, there was that was sort of like the watershed moment. That was the last gasp of, if you're punk rock, if you don't do what the man says, and the man right now is George Bush. It was sort of just anti-George Bush. Yeah. So I agree with you. A lot of it was sort of gay, but nobody cared for the most part. If you were political back then,
it was Eminem. But remember Eminem's lyrics
was crazy.
Killing gay people, killing women.
It was, that is such a good point.
Today would be literally like throw in jail arrest. If you had Marshall Mathers LP, you would say those words, you would be fucking in jail.
It was
DMX,
culturally.
I'm going to rape your like 15-year-old daughter. I'm going to rape her and cut her head off.
I think
that was DMX's lyrics.
Yeah, that is such a good point because here's what's crazy. That wasn't a political statement. It was just cultural. I'm going to say crazy shit. And it wasn't on purpose. I don't think to necessarly like maybe
it was just like anger. It was like anger, just like a vague anger.
But it was all just. It was cultural. It wasn't this political bent.
Yeah,
and so that and it's like I think about Apocalypse Now, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that is like a narrative on how bad Vietnam was. There's some of that libtard shit that went on because it's sort of like a fragment of when things got really political in the 60s, right? Things got really crazy and political again in the 60s. And then that sort of died out. And then from basically mid 70s until I would say 2001, 2005, we got away from that. And meanwhile, there was all that communism bubbling in the schools. We knew there was some undertones over there, but for the most part, America was moving into this like new world with internet. Music was just like the TV was getting better and normal. Your programming was just like sort of normal, more channels, cable news, cable TV. It was sort of like how the early internet was, but this was all sort of early internet. I would say this is even pre-internet. So Apocalypse Now is like a good example. It's like there's a little bit of politics in there. It's a little bit of like it's some narrative around that, but it kind of shows everybody equally, and you kind of get a feel for like, all right, yeah, I get why he wants to napalm all those people, but like it's bad to do that. I get that. Okay, so there's a little bit of both, and then we got into the '80s where shit was cool, and the '90s.
But why are we using? I'm actually seeing Apocalypse Now on Monday night. It's my favorite movie of all time, but that came out in 1979. Why? So why are you bringing that up though? What is Apocalypse Now?
I guess what I'm just saying is like, there was a time where you could make a movie like that, have some sprinkling in of like maybe a message, but like the message is not preaching to you.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Make you a little bit uncomfortable, and you're supposed to be like, how am I supposed to really feel about all this?
Yeah, totally.
And we really just told people, hey, we're not really allowed to make movies for you like that anymore. We're going to tell you exactly how you need to feel. And the best movie in the world right now is Sinners. And you know who the sinners are? The white people.
The white guys.
Yeah. And it's just
and like, they try to pass it off as like, no, they're vampires and they stole the music also from the Irish. They throw that in there to make it so that it's not just white people being vampires. It's like, okay, nice try, bro. Like, this is obviously white people are cultural vampires. Everybody else is nice, including the Asians who just pop through the window like doing their dragon dance. And then the white vampires come and they're attacking the Asians also. Because that's just what the white people are. 8% of the world just vampires. It's really the exact same thing as being anti-Semitic in every way. It's just there's a small population. They're to blame for everything.
Send that to all the whites. And then the whites go, no, it's not us. We swear it's the Jews.
It's the Jews.
It's just pointing to the other, pointing down the street.
It's true. Same. Jews are to whites as whites are to blacks. That's so obvious. How is nobody thought of that?
We're just hoping we get to an extra hour before the bear gets us. It's like you're the slower runner. But they're all coming. And this is the bad part. So
they're all coming.
Ultimately, that is like, but I do it. And maybe none of this matters because maybe it's just too late. And this is just the reality of third world.
White people also suck, though. This is the thing that I really think that American racists who are very dedicated to like looking up Jewish Talmudic phrases, they don't understand that. You know what, like one of the worst places to live is fucking Copenhagen. Like no one moves to Copenhagen for a very fucking good reason. Like the Vikings were sick, but they never ran the world. Have the Germans ever ran the world? I think the Prussians for maybe a little bit, but there's a reason Rome took over the world. There's a reason England took over the world. There's a reason America took over the world, because you got to be able to like kind of do both things. You got to be both dumb and smart. Like being in fucking Copenhagen, you go to the fucking store, you got to return the bottle. You drink a beer out of a bottle, you have to bring the bottle back to the store or else they like won't give you any more beer. And it's like, okay, it's like, I mean, obviously that's a joke and like, okay, it's nice to be responsible, but there's an absolute reason no one moves to Copenhagen. The ethno state, it's right there. There's no Jews. Right. It's a million fucking white people. They got Lego. It's fucking everything you want. Go move there. No one does it. Nobody goes because you fucking show up and you're like, this place fucking sucks. This is like, I don't want to live here. Like, it's not fun. I'm kind of seeing that more and more, especially like these days. I'm like,
well, dude, that's the like, USA halftime show.
It's like these super white things. They're not fucking cool. They're not good. Yeah. It's not like they're just white people. Yes, white people are very
this is the issue.
Responsible, but like, that's not everything.
It's an important distinction because the white culture. And dude, this is this is like saying Joe Flacco's not an elite quarterback. This is just like, an argument is a tale as old as time. We'll flush it out. The white culture argument. What is white culture? Our poor guy, James Carl. Is it James Carl?
Jeremy Carl.
Jeremy Carl.
Jeremy Carl.
Sorry, Jeremy. James Carl.
Sorry, Jeremy, whatever his name.
Jeremy Carl, our poor guy, is just like, get put on the spot. What's white culture? And he's like, fuck. Damn, I should have written this one down. Hold on, let me give me a second. I'll tell you. Like fucking Irish people and shit. I love that. He was just like, the guy's like, no, that's ethnicity. Talk about the white people. You're like, all right, whatever. No, but it's so true. Like, what is white culture? Okay. What you mean is, what is American culture? Okay. I think that's basically what you mean, right? But I truly believe white culture is a made-up thing. And dude, it's hard to say that Cajun culture is a part of maybe American white culture, or Appalachian culture, right? Or like low country culture in America. Southern culture in America, by all means, you can call that white culture, but you can't separate black people from Southern culture. You just can't.
Okay, but but the big question is, fine, if you want to define it, this is all just stupid definitions, and it's so pointless to even fucking
but my
argue
point
about.
is that the white moniker doesn't mean anything, because you definitely want to live in a
but is there black culture? But is there black culture?
I think there's black American culture.
Okay, so if there's black culture, there's white culture. That's all I have to say. If there is, I understand your point, which is that there's no one white culture. I get it.
But also, I would say
fine,
that
I'll accept that. But then you cannot say there's black culture. You can't.
Here's my argument: you can take a place that has the exact same demographics as Copenhagen, but that place is 20 miles outside New Orleans, or 20 miles outside Los Angeles, or 20 miles outside Tennessee. Would you want to be in one of those places, or would you not?
You're just saying, are those places the same because they're white or not? That's what you're saying, right? Yeah. Okay, but do the same with blacks. Or is there such thing as black culture? Is there just black culture?
When I say black, I mean, at least black to me means African American.
Okay.
Black American.
So then, fine.
If you say I do not ever want to be.
White American. Then it's Kid Rock. Then Kid Rock is your culture, right?
Well, so I think there's an argument
to be made. This is such a stupid discussion. It's completely meaningless. Who cares? What does it fucking matter if there's white culture or not? Wait, who gives a shit? It's just a definitional thing. We all know what we're fucking talking about. Like, we all know what we mean. When we say white culture, we know what we mean. When we say black culture, people know what you fucking mean, right? It doesn't matter. Who cares if it's like,
but it does mean American. But it means American.
White culture means American?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess black culture also means American, right? When you say black culture, you don't mean African.
You don't mean.
Yeah.
You don't mean.
When you say white culture, do you mean American, or like is like London white culture? Yeah, I think London's white culture. Sure, yeah.
But I would call that European.
Yeah, but like it's all related, right? Like stage plays. We're going to have a stage play.
Yeah, I mean,
a stage play in London is related to a stage play in New York, right? It's kind of the same.
Yeah, sure. But that's
right?
Yeah. I mean, well, that's fag culture, but yeah, whatever. I think it's all fucking
that exists.
White culture in America, we know what it means, and it just has a lot. Black culture in America is way more monolithic, I think, than white culture in America. It's irrelevant. Again, this is
black culture is more monolithic than white culture. Yeah, okay, I'll buy that, but that's just because it's so much smaller. It's just it's also 10% versus a lot more than that.
Yeah,
right?
And they're much more of a shared history than the whites.
Yeah, right. It's not really. They just don't know what country they came from, but they it's a bigger place actually.
Their shared culture is whatever they built here as slaves and free people here. It has nothing to do with that. And maybe some Caribbean,
and probably some holdovers, right? I mean, there's some holdovers.
Not really, because you got to remember that the slave trade really ended in like 1808. They weren't bringing over boats of people after that. So a lot of the slaves that were existing in the New World or around 1860, let's say Civil War, those people had been born and raised in America. Most of them, most of the slaves at that point were not imported from anywhere. So they had really built their own culture. It's not like this is funny because there's a Independence, I think, was or something like that. Emancipation was the movie that Will Smith did
Yeah.
kind of recently, and they had black people like speaking like African. I'm like, dude, this takes place during the Civil War. No black people in the 1860s spoke anything but English. So that's completely made up. Like this whole idea that like they held all this, they had all this like African culture. Like that's not true. There was no real African culture. There's some very, very small lines of holdovers there, and definitely maybe some more Caribbean culture, especially in the low South, where you had white people that like also had some Caribbean culture in like Spanish and French culture that would sort of mix in, but not. That's just like a complete. There's no African dancing and shit like going on in the South or anywhere with the slaves. So it's all made up. So they're just as they created their own culture here, and so that's really the shared culture of all black people in America, unless they are from the West Indies or Africa. In the last few generations, if they are slaves, if they're foundational black Americans, they have a distinct black American culture. And, for all its merits and all its demerits, that's fine. But I think that you can't say the same about white people, because a bunch of white people came here in the 1800s that we did not like. We didn't like the Italians and the Irish. And I would argue they, haven't really assimilated that well. Maybe a little bit better than others, but
who haven't? The Irish?
The Italians and the Irish are horrible.
The Italians?
They're the worst.
The scourge.
Dude, funny. You were arguing with your Rufo.
They care about the Pope. They don't even care about America. They have a foreign leader.
That's all they care about is the Pope.
How can we trust them?
Yeah, the Catholics are the worst. And dude, and here's the thing: you were talking with Rufo about this, or arguing with Rufo. It's like, dude, yeah, no, there is distinct Italian culture, and it sucks. And we literally like it was something about New Jersey Italians. It's like they're not American. They are a distinct, gross culture, and they're terrible. And you were like, you've obviously never been to fucking Jersey Shore.
Seaside Heights, dude.
Yeah, and it's like
if you cannot say they don't have their own culture if you haven't been to fucking Seaside.
We spent decades, and maybe JFK was killed by the mafia. We spent decades trying to make the Italians stop murdering each other in the streets of this country.
Yeah, but they did. That's the thing.
They did that. They were horrible.
They got longhoused.
Yeah.
We longhoused the Italians.
Yeah, we kind of longhoused them.
And we longhoused ourselves. We just went too far, really. It was the problem. It was perfect because we had the 90s, which the 90s was the glory, obviously the glory period, right? Like,
talk to Brad Barstow about this. He doesn't agree. Because he grew up in Kansas.
Well,
and he played basketball. And apparently Topeka, Kansas, that's where Brown versus Board of Education happened. And he said the 90s were way more racist than today. And I don't agree.
That's Topeka, Kansas. That doesn't count.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like,
who knows?
Remember the OJ trial?
Yeah.
I mean, that was sort of crazy. And like all the riots.
Really crazy.
Was it really better then? Was it just because the Cosbys were on TV?
What do you mean better?
Were race relations better in the
better 90s? How? Way better. Are you fucking kidding me?
I think they were, but I feel like I'm crazy because but dude, if a black dude today, or if there was a trial that was similar, I guess maybe George Floyd is a good example. The George Floyd thing and the OJ thing have a lot of parallels. And people literally were like cheering in the streets when OJ was acquitted. And he was guilty as shit.
Yeah, obviously.
And so whatever you think about George Floyd, it's the same sort of thing. So I know that maybe the statistics say we were.
Race relations were just better because there wasn't
no internet.
There was there was the interest in it, right? Like it was fun to talk about the differences between white people and black people, right? There were these two different cultures. We loved talking about it. We loved we loved that America was so successful, and we, had a bunch of black people around, and not only did we have black people around, they were a big part of the reason for our success. Like they were like a huge cultural export that everyone loved, right? People loved NWA. Like I always remember my friend Bjorn was a designer. This guy was like a weirdo in Sweden, grew up in fucking Sweden. You know, who knows what the fuck is going on? And they're just like cut off from the world. He started listening to NWA in like 1992 as like an 8-year-old, completely defined the rest of his life because he was like, oh, there's like somebody talking for the little guy, you know, like me.
Right.
You know how many people in the whole world there are like that? Who
Yeah.
like somehow heard NWA and were like, fuck yeah. You know,
Yeah.
like, and that's Michael Jordan, you know, everything in the 90s. Our cultural export was like,
Cool black dudes.
it doesn't matter if you're black or white, right? I mean, that's kind of what it was. Fucking Michael Jackson. It was sort of saying, like, look, you're not bound to whatever fucking race you are. Like, you can still go do some cool shit, which is an amazing dream, right? Everybody wants that. Everybody wants to feel like, hey, it doesn't matter if I'm a disgusting Jew, vampire, parasite. I can still, you know, go and like do something. Everybody wants to fucking feel that way. So that's why we were so culturally dominant. And it was fun to, you know, we liked making fun of it. Like people made fun of the fucking fact that we were different, right? But then it got like pathologized. It got like fucking like that. Those racial differences became not like fun anymore. They became like really fucking like
And was that because they
way too
became political?
charged. Yeah, I think so. I mean, my
I
theory
think
for
that kind of
why,
leads back to that same point of like when you make something beautiful, like, yeah, dude, like we actually celebrate our fucking, you know, we like Bill Cosby and Will Smith and Michael Jordan are cool as shit, and we're proud of them as Americans. They're great ambassadors for America because they embody good things. You know, they were clean, clean. You know, it's like they would always say Obama's clean and articulate. They were just
yeah. He's so
there was
articulate.
it's just like if a black guy just speaks well, it's like the greatest thing in the world. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah. No, I mean it's
true.
true though. I mean it's like, and it gives us this fantasy. My theory, and I say this every fucking episode, is why did this happen? Right? Why did McCarthyism happen? McCarthyism was the reverse. It was like this panic over communists. Why did McCarthyism happen? I actually have no fucking idea.
Well, it's because there was
But
a shit ton of communists in our government.
yeah, whatever the reason was, who knows? People at that, probably because of the bomb, right? Because of USSR and the bomb, and it was like they're the bad guys.
Well,
They're
that's
gonna
not
fucking
necessarily
bomb
true. A
us.
lot of it was because FDR literally put a lot of communists into the upper echelon of our government.
Yeah,
Legit.
look, I'm sure there's a million fucking books out there of why McCarthyism happened, but we all look at it back at it and we're like, oh,
Socialism
that was
was the
bad.
good thing. When he was right.
He was right. Yes,
Yeah.
that's fucking very true. I just mean like in the mind's eye, we realized that was a panic, right? That was like a panic. It was a irrational period, right? And again, maybe it wasn't so irrational looking around now. Maybe we did need to fucking purge the fucking communists, but I'm just saying like that's how people think of it. I believe that the future will view this period as that same thing. It'll be this woke panic period. And the question is, why did it happen? Why did it fucking happen? I think it was one part with the 90s going rotten, whatever. I think, though, if you really look about what is the one thing that is different here than has ever been true ever in the history of the world in any circumstance ever, what is the one difference that we have?
Between now and when?
Rome, fucking England, fucking France, any other fucking time. Cavemen. I don't know. What other periods are there?
Cheap cocaine. Cheap cocaine.
No. There's always been
internet?
drugs. There's always been drugs around. I mean, yeah, sure. The internet. Yeah, of course. The internet.
So it's not the internet.
Big part. But I don't think it's the. I mean, of course, the internet is a huge factor. There's something different socially now than has ever been true.
Feminism.
Yeah, women in the workplace.
Okay, yeah.
That is the only huge, massive difference. There's always been black people. There's always been intermixing. There's even always been tons of. I mean, like, there's not gay people like there were now, but there's always been gay people around in power. There's fucking eunuchs, right? That's happened. Never, ever, ever has society been run by women. Yeah. Today, society is basically run by women. They graduate more. They have more managerial, powerful jobs. They are the ones really in control of the like day-to-day workings of society. And that has never been true in any society ever.
Yeah.
And I just think that that has a fucking massive impact. And I think it makes it, I think the woke era basically was that reaching a tipping point. Like women in the cultural sphere gaining enough power and having enough jobs that then suddenly it just flipped everything. Like it was like a tipping point. Like it flipped the whole vibe of how things worked. Because before it was like you had strippers at the office, you had 3 martini lunches, you fucked around. Like it was like you were professional, but it was like a boys' club. Then suddenly, when it's like 60% women in your fucking thing, having a stripper at imagine a company having a stripper at a fucking event. It would be like literally you'd go to jail on the fucking spot.
Well, it's
And
also
again, I just think that that has such large, huge implications for like the way people behave about like inappropriateness and
yeah.
language and shit.
Well, also it's bad for kids when they're growing up in school. The best I ever did
Yeah.
at school was when I went to an all boys school.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of guys cannot do well with girls in their class, and it's just like
I
it shows
certainly was like that. I was
academic-
just girl obsessed, dude. I could not do anything besides like
Yeah,
chase
the
girls.
academics-
I was completely.
that
Yeah.
all the data on that shows that that's pretty much true. Like school is made for women. Guys feel weird about really participating in school if there's girls, like if they don't know stuff or maybe they know stuff and they don't want to talk about it. Like dudes aren't, they just want to be quiet, or you want to like act cool. You don't really know how
Well,
to.
and it's more just that there's a whole new standard. There's a new standard for behavior. There's a new standard for language. It's men try. The funny thing is, everybody talks about like men being superior to women. Women are superior to men at a lot of shit. And they're definitely superior to men at like social cohesion activities, right? Which is there's a lot of that in school. There's a lot of politicking and you need to say this to get this person to do this, and we need to be conscious of this person over here and their feelings, blah, blah, blah. Men can't compete in that shit. Like, they don't, men's brains don't fucking work that way. We're just like, I'm trying to get done the thing that's right in front of me, in front of my eyes. I'm not trying to like think about Susie's fucking emotions right now. I'm trying to like figure out this other thing. And that is now completely selected against. So I think that was a huge part of the woke era, was basically like women purging men who were like an issue, from the ranks, more or less. But we're seeing where that's leading now.
I think that is actually a little bit of a part of the issue on the right. Is
Totally.
They go, oh well, dude, then it's it's just politics, and so then you're not actually able to correctly identify the issue because most Republicans are never going to say that shit. They're just
I know. Politics is a female thing in general. In the Roman days, they always was like, politics is for women. Like men have to do it, but it's like women are far better at it, which I think is true.
It's very interesting. Yeah, no, that is really interesting because, you're not going to get a bunch of Republicans doing the repeal the 19th type thing, and whatever.
No,
that's kind of lame in some sense too, but there's some reality. But it's just they're never going to hitch their wagon to that because. It's just like
I'm not even saying let's repeal the 19th.
No, I know.
I don't
you're
even
not.
really care. I like women. I don't mind working with women as long as they're not my boss and they're not like making me try to behave well. I like working with women.
Yeah.
We are pretending like this isn't a reality when it's like obviously a very, very serious, massive fucking change.
But it's
and
also,
like you got to be conscious.
It's organized political feminism, which is just communism. Because if you just put a structure around the ideology of women, it's let's be nice to everybody and let's not make anybody.
Yeah, it's very communistic because it's really about
like women are the like most ruthless and mean people. And they
in some ways
they fight each other they're horrible. They're ruthless. The way they treat each other. So they're more ruthless than men are by like a billion. Men will kill each other in battle.
Women don't have honor. That's the thing. Women don't have the concept of honor. Is like not their friends. Women don't have that. They don't have
a whole different thing. It's all
they don't believe in like face. The conception of like talking about it face to face like a man is just not even think that never occurs to them. So like
Masculine.
that's like important to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there is
Yeah.
that ultimately breaks down the whole cohesion. So that is, man, it is that is not a fixable thing now, though. That cat is way out.
It's not fixable until there's some sort of massive war. I mean, look,
Well,
it's
that's
an
the Garden of Eden
yeah.
situation. This is the woman has taken the bite from the apple. We are now doomed.
Yeah, basically, you can't put
there's
Pandora's box back together, right? It's like that's what I'm saying. It's like, to me, it's like there's no way to fix this. You're basically we're just waiting around for war. That's pretty much what we're waiting for. I mean, I do think that the consciousness of this is raising. I don't think it's even offensive to most people to say this is an obvious reality. What do we do about this? Because men are not included in this. Like the male strengths, again, we cannot compete with this. It's not fucking possible. Like you could be the bitchiest, gayest man in the world, and you're still not going to be as good as a woman, as a really like arch bitch, alpha fucking, Charlotte's Web fucking type of like woman. You're never going to be as good as that because you're going to be thinking about making the product. That woman is going to be thinking about the fucking web all the time, And it's like the men don't have that type of brain. We can't compete on that level. Just like how women can't compete with us in like inventing things, and they're going to say, yes, they can. But it's like, no, show me one fucking example. There aren't any. So, again, I'm not saying this to be hateful towards women. I'm saying women are very much equal to men. They're just different. Anyway, all right. How do we finish this? What is the Southern Review? What's your magazine? The Southern Review. What is the Southern
Review? Go to DixieMag.com. We're trying to do a thing. And really all it is the idea that political media, political culture is fake and gay. It's not real. The only real thing is regional culture, American culture, white culture, if you will, black culture, if you will. And I think the beauty of what we're trying to do is there's nothing about it that's going to be ostensibly right wing, but I think in the beauty of what we're doing and what I mean aesthetically, the shit we cover, the things we talk about, I think it'll sort of like it's going to gravitate more towards people that aren't retarded and fake and gay. And so it was basically the idea is there's a magazine down here called The Bitter Southerner. And it's the fucking worst. It looks really good. It's a really good looking magazine. It's like very well put together. But it is very woke on purpose. It hates the South. They hate, the stories of the people of the South in a lot of ways. And all it does is talk about black people and women and they sell shirts that are like resist and, fuck ICE and stuff like that. So it's so ostensibly political. It's disgusting. But it looks really cool, and it's in every hotel down here. It's part of the whole vibe and the zeitgeist of what is now Southern culture, which has turned into a joke that a lot of people don't participate in, aren't proud of, and so unfortunately, what you end up with is sort of this lost cause nostalgia on one side, which you see a lot on Twitter, and then on the other side, you just see fake and gay. And so I think there's a better way. There's a lot of good people that really well, Ben Braddock and Lafayette Lee and
Lee. Whatever happened to him?
I think he got a job. I used to see him
around all the time.
He got a job or something. He couldn't post for a while.
Sometimes he'll pop
back in and like stuff that I post every now and then. But yeah, people like that, Davis. Sandbatch, people from all over the South.
How are you going to get Sandbatch I want Sandbatch to write for me for various things, but how the fuck do you get him to how do you get him to do anything?
You gotta. This is the fear. He's sort of like a Hunter S. Thompson type. You kind of have to lock him in a room, give him drugs, and
just come out with something.
I don't even think he's motivated by money because I know Peter was always trying to get him to do stuff for Frontier, and he just couldn't get him to commit. So he is motivated by money, but he's just. He doesn't like deadlines and stuff like that. So yeah, you got to lock him in a room, maybe give him an e-girl slave and then give him a lot of
we
drugs,
gotta.
maybe.
We're a little short on the Eagles these days. I don't. They
Yeah,
all.
it's good though.
They're busy doing other things.
That's what we want them to be busy. So yeah, all that to
Yeah.
be said is, I think if there's something cool and cultural, it looks good aesthetically, the vibes are cool. I think there's a lot to celebrate in the South, and in a lot of gay ways. It is actually very diverse and interesting, and there's plenty of fucking based shit that black people are doing in the South, like making barbecue and rap music, as they do. And then there's Chinese people in the fucking Mississippi Delta, so there's a lot of cool
We
stories.
learned that from Sinners. We
Yeah.
learned about those soulful Chinese down
Yeah.
in
and it's
as long as they're
huge.
not white, they're just you can be a soulful Southerner of any kind. As a Chinese, doesn't matter.
There's something to be said for that, I think. So I
Yeah.
think that's a way you can cover everything without saying, "Oh, this is right wing," but it's gonna, it's just not gonna. There's no apologies. We're gonna tell the truth, and we're gonna be cool and sick about it. But so yeah, that's kind of the idea, and I think that's the future of good media, especially if on the right. I know you're working on projects like this where it's like, dude, we're not being red team. We're being fucking cool team. We're being good team. We're being beautiful team. We're being fucking winning team.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, this will be seen as is a time in which people who are funny and rebellious and had the same sort of feeling came together, who were willing to not be fucking bitches.
Yeah.
But it's like there's always going to be a place for people who are not bitches. And I've never fucking said, everybody's like, you're secretly a leftist. And I'm like, dude, I have some really right-wing ideas and I have some like slightly left-wing ideas. In reality, I'm right-wing. I'm not conservative at all. But I am a right-wing person in like the Ayn Rand sense of the word. And it's like, yeah, it just so happened that that's where on the right, we had an opportunity via Trump and via just the total longhousing of culture to like make shit that was cool for a second, right? And I think that's opportunity still.
Oh, dude, is that me or you? Come back, Isaac. Damn, Mossad got him right. He was hitting his stride. Am I cut off? Jesus. Let's see. Am I still good? Yeah, it's just Isaac. All right, we'll just wait till he comes back. If not, are you there? Oh my God. There he is. He's back. Itzhak. Anyways. He might be might be a storm in California. All right. Well, oh, there you are. You're back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. All right, finish what you were saying, so we'll wrap up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I hear you.
I can't fucking hear anything. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Fuck this. All right, this is over.